4 days is going to be early voting. And in 8 days, we're going to have our first and maybe our last debate. So President Trump was not active this weekend on the campaign trail. But Joe Biden got off the beach, literally got off a 2-week beach vacation on 2 separate beaches.
So refreshed.
And by the way, in full view of all the cameras and almost in your face, if you don't want me, I'm going to do nothing. Then he appears on the stage yelling like he thinks union workers want him to, because that's the way union workers talk, like linebacker coaches. He was there with the vice president to say, vote for her. I'm going to kiss her on top of the head. Watch.
Said Barack picked me as vice president because he knew I could be president. Well, I know she'll be a good president. I've watched her when all the experts, foreign and domestic policy, would give us advice. Then we'd sit alone in a room, and she has a backbone like a ramrod. And she has the moral compass of a saint.
And by the way, we can't wait to hear more about those values because we heard she doesn't change the values. I'd also add, too, that she was the last one in the room on every major decision. So they don't know how much they want her out there with Joe Biden, especially talk about the economy. And the other thing is we heard she was a work in progress. Wasn't that a quote from Joe Biden? I guess the work is done. Yeah. Michelangelo's finished.
They've reinvented her 3 times. And if she is so good, why not do more interviews? Why not talk with the American public more often? Why not keep the same policy positions that she once had? Why is she evolving so much if she's so strong when it comes to policy and on the world stage?
And then there she is in Detroit. She changed her accent when she was there in Detroit because she was speaking to a group that, has that similar accent. And so she did the same, did the same speech in another town with a different accent. So this is the headline on Politico. It says Harris puts her Biden balancing act on display in Pennsylvania. They were in Pittsburgh. And that's what she has to do here. Try to walk a fine line of separating herself from Joe Biden, but yet being thankful that he endorsed her.
I'd like a large coffee.
Okay, so hot coffee?
Totally leave room for Craig.
Why are you talking like that?
This is my voice.
No, it's not. I heard you talking a minute ago. I know you don't talk like that.
Neither do you, because nobody actually talks like this. Just stop doing that.
I can't help it. This is my voice.
Excuse me. Some of us would like to order.
You're total man.
There you go. Good. You're talking.
Good. There you go. You're talking. Yeah, good job. You're from Montreal, right? You know that you're from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, right? This is not the way that people talk there. We might go ourselves and find that out. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. Kamala breaks out her cringe accent once again. Amazing. Even Fox News wrote up noticing that she sounds like Foghorn Leghorn when she's in front of specific audiences. Biden dragged off month-long vacation to go campaign and then made a shocking revelation at the White House saying he's not allowed to campaign anymore. Congresswoman Nancy Mace joins the show. She's from the South. Maybe she can make sense. She's from the deep South, right? It's Charleston, South Carolina. Charleston, South Carolina. Maybe she can make sense of Kamala Harris's new accent. Why does Kamala do it? Oh, we'll cover all of it in today's show. Yo, my name is Benny Johnson, and this is The Benny Show. Make sure, as you have probably noted, that the markets are behaving wildly, that Russia has decided that they're going to announce brand new nuclear arsenals that can't be stopped, and the world is careening towards a multipolar world, probably wars breaking out all over the place in the coming future. The American ruling class, they're great. With, really great investment there. No, actually, not a good investment. You're noticing sort of the collapse and the decline of the old world order. Now is the time to reinvest in the value that you have in your bank account in something that will hold value, because when people start dumping the dollar and when the dollar becomes less valuable, well, something very bad is going to happen. Invest in gold. Go with my friends at Allegiance. Allegiance Gold can take care of you. I talk about it a lot, but the reason we talk about it is because we do it ourselves, and Allegiance Gold is, well, have you seen the price of gold? Have you seen it at record highs right now? Should have listened to your boy Benny. ProtectWithBenny.com today, 844-66-BENNY. Get $5,000 in free silver with a qualifying purchase. Don't get fooled by inflated stock values. the promise that the economy is totally stable, nothing bad is going to happen. Commodities go up when times go bad, ladies and gentlemen. And are we prepared for bad times? Well, we hopefully won't have to see what it looks like with a President Kamala Harris, because I don't think that I will be able to tolerate the criminal amounts of cringe. Now, the cringe was on full display yesterday in a stop in Detroit. This was a amazing practice that Kamala Harris engaged in yesterday, because she gave a speech in Detroit to like a majority black audience. And then she went to like the leafy suburbs of far more, let's just say, egalitarian area in Philadelphia. And she sounded totally different. The speeches, what she said, the way she spoke was completely different. And what does that say about you, right? And I think that's an important topic to kind of step back and to analyze and ask, right? And it's not like me saying, bro, okay, to Klein. It's not like me saying, yo, to ALX in the morning. This is like a complete and total change of her pandem vernacular. Like she changes the way she talks based on who is listening in order to pander to them and in order to try and reflect what she thinks they want to hear. What an atrocious way to live life. I just want to take a moment to like talk very briefly about like what this means, you know, if you're a person who does this. What would this say about you, right? If you've been tuning into the show for a long time, and we love you, and we added a red pill, by the way, to the members chat. Okay, so we have red pills. We take requests. All right, people said yesterday, hey, can you make some of the emojis bigger? We did, so you can go check your custom emojis here. Just a shout out to the members chat. If you wish to drop some red pills, ALX, is this the newest addition to the custom emojis? Red pills? Okay, great. You know, the more members we get, the more we can add custom emojis. So it's pretty amazing. Drop your red pills here, and while we sort of monologue and chat through this moment, we'll be happy to screenshot them and pop them up on screen. We're still working on a way to like integrate all of the chats together, and that's what we want to do. We want to integrate all the chats together and put them up on screen. We also want to bring on a very special guest and do questions only from the audience. So stay tuned for that. ALX is like, stop getting ahead of yourself. Oh, we love the chat. We love the chat. We love you. And we respect you. You pop it up, Klein. Throw them up. Throw up those red pills. Give me some red pills. We're so responsive here on this show. We love you so much. We'll respond. We'll hear a need and we'll immediately go out and get it for you. Right? It's the purpose of this show. It's the core of who we are. It's knit into our very being. Look at all these red pills being dropped there. So, just real quick, sort of off the cuff vamping about what this means, right, with people and when they do this to you. We love the audience here. But let's say that we did a show and we found out, and we can see demographic information about where people are watching and stuff. Let's say we did a show and like we found out that a bunch of people from, you know, Alabama and Louisiana were watching. And actually the only viewers were from Alabama and Louisiana. And if you are watching from those two fine states, shout yourself out. And so, you know, I would typically talk here. Let's say I like, because we found out that information, I was like, yeah, just how y'all doing this morning? I don't even know. Like, okay. The point is to sound fake, but like, I don't even know how to do that. I don't even know how to do like the fake. Did you piss in your grits this morning? Huh? Did you ride yourself? Did you hog tie and ride a sheep straight up to yonder? How'd you do? Did you eat your piss grits on your sheep? Then it's all a horn is a horny toad. Like what like you'd have every reason. You'd have every reason. Look, I got some bourbon. It's 8 a.m. Got me some bourbon. Time to have a hootenanny. Like, would you trust me? Okay, I'm from Iowa. a place that's like really famous for non-regional diction. So we're a lot of news broadcasters from Iowa, right? So it's like we're known for just being boring, actually. Let me put down these bottles of bourbon. We're known for being boring, okay? Like we're known for the reason why news broadcasters come from Iowa is because we don't really have accents there. Nothing that special. Maybe it is special. I don't know, but it's just the way it is. If I started talking to you that way because I found out there were a lot of Southerners in the audience, would you trust me? Like, would you feel like that's authentic? Would you like me more? Like, no, actually. Would you feel like our show was ready to deliver truth to you? Would you feel like we're honest and trustworthy when I do that? If I'm like, no, actually, what you should feel, what you have every right to feel, would be insulted. You would feel like I'm pandering to you, that I'm doing a caricature of you, and maybe take it to its end result, like that I think you're low IQ, that I think you're stupid because you're too dumb to realize that I'm like using a fake put on accent, and that I think so little of you, actually, I think you're going to fall for it. You'd have every right to think that. And then you'll never get that on this program, but you'd be like, F that guy. I'm subscribed. Like he's pandering to me. He clearly doesn't respect me. He thinks he can lie, and he's doing so out of what? And this is what's most important. Out of what? Because you all know Kamala Harris. You know people like Kamala Harris. There's a type. Kamala Harris is a cripplingly insecure person. Only insecure people do this. Only people who need immediate and instant validation from strangers, which is actually the sign of a sociopath. Only people that have this like deep, abiding lack of purpose, right, in their life. Somebody who's only ever power gobbled on her knees, like through every hall, of government. Somebody who's like done, who's like debased herself, and has no anchoring to right, wrong, value system, core beliefs, an empty husk that can be manipulated, can be totally and completely controlled. The feature, not the bug, with Kamala Harris. And somebody who doesn't know who she is. We know Kamala Harris's type. We know her type. Men, women, you know these people, and you know it when you meet them. Someone will say, as my Southern grandma used to say, someone who will drip honey in your ear and call you a beehive. It's still a hive of bees if you bury it. Yeah. Somebody who's so inauthentic. And the reason that she does this is because she is so cripplingly insecure in herself. She doesn't know who she is. She doesn't have values. She doesn't have a core, a sense of being. And that's something that you get when you fight in life, when you achieve in life, when you know who you are, when you find your reason in being in the fight, in getting hit in the face and hitting other people in the face, when you know your God and your creator and you know your purpose in this earth and you know why you were created, and you carry forward into the grand expanse of the beautiful universe, knowing that you have a little part to play and that God created you for a purpose and a reason, and he doesn't make mistakes. He didn't create you the wrong skin color or the wrong gender. That God made you for a purpose, and you can contribute a note to this grand symphony of the universe. You can have confidence in who you were made. And then you stand upright and you carry forward, and you don't have to lie. You don't have to pander to people, and you don't have to debase yourself because you have purpose and value. You have value, right? But when you get someone like Kamala Harris, when you get these empty vessels who are so incapable of the happiness and joy and the things that bring the rest of us, like centering in life, like family and children, and our relationship, religion, praying, working out, eating healthy, living a healthy life, getting some sunshine. Like those, when you don't have those things, you become completely untethered. And then you go about the actions of someone who will do anything for approval. And that's not the person you want in charge of the nuclear codes. That's not the person you want making decisions on a battlefield. Somebody who somebody who has no morals, no grounding, and no purpose in life. The last person you want deciding the future for your family and your children are those people. Now, there's a funny and interesting, as George Lucas would say, it rhymes, right? There's a funny and interesting thing that's happening right now, where a deeply unhappy, far left-wing woman who cares not for the future of American people, has done anything and everything in her life in order to gobble power, and she cravenly and demonically demands to be made president, in spite of the fact that most of the country hates her, is embarrassing herself by using fake accents to try and pull more people to her losing side. We've seen this play before. In fact, we watched it happen in 2016. Ladies and gentlemen, meet that woman, not Kamala Harris, Hillary Clinton.
I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me.
Like that caricature that I just did for you, Hillary did that in real life. My production chat's like melting down. They're like, don't ever do that again, right? Like, don't ever talk about piss grits. Don't you dare, right? You're going to insult everyone. I don't think piss grits are a thing. I'm just saying, if I wished to create a caricature of an insulting caricature of like an urban black person or like a Southern hillbilly, how far can you take it? Hillary took it there. I ain't always tired. I've come too far. It's the same impression, right? It's the same impression, and it's the same insult. And these people do it, and they do it on camera. What does that say about your soul? What does that say about who you are? We all know you don't talk like that, lady. You're a senator. When that video was taken, she was a senator from the leafy Westchester County, New York, on the Hudson River Valley. That's who Hillary Clinton was and who she represents. So, nobody's buying that. Why would you even try? We've never heard Hillary Clinton ever talk like that, but she does it because she looks out in the audience and she sees a group of people, a specific demographic of people that she feels like she needs to pander to. And the best part about this is that I don't even have to make that up. The best part about this is that I can actually step back and just let Hillary Clinton explain it for herself, as she did when she was running for president on an urban talk show, very popular, called The Breakfast Club. Here we go.
No more questions? They said no, she has to go.
What's something that you always carry with you?
Hot sauce.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Are you getting information right now?
Hot sauce.
Hot sauce in my bag, swag?
Hot sauce.
Really?
Yes.
Now listen,
yes.
I just want you to know, people are going to see this and say, okay, she's pandering to black people.
Okay. Is it working?
Yeah.
Is it working? Luckily for us, we have that clip because it explains exactly what's going on here. Hillary Clinton, in sort of probably an exhaustive moment on the campaign trail, just said, "I'm done pretending." Is my pandering to you working? She asked live on video. So, ladies and gentlemen, we carry forward into the act of Democrats doing this and debasing themselves and what it says about them as people. Donald Trump is a billionaire who stands on stage and says, "I'm a billionaire, and you should want to be a billionaire. And we should all want to be billionaires. This is America. This country's fun. We're having a great time. This is an amazing country. Let's have fun. This country's about fun. What's wrong with having a skyscraper with your name on it? Isn't that the freaking American dream? And yet the honesty in that is so profound, and it rings like a bell when you hear it. You're like, man, at least the guy's not lying to me about who he is or where he comes from. At the DNC convention, which we were just at a week ago, there were 7 billionaires who spoke, including the governor of the state that was hosting the convention, a guy named J.B. Pritzker. This guy's a billionaire. And he's getting on stage talking about the evils of billionaires, acting like he comes from the slums in the South Side. We also went to the slums in the South Side. They all told us they were voting for Trump because it doesn't work. But it also says something really upsetting about who you are and who your party, who you stand for, like what you stand for or what you don't stand for, how you view yourself, how you view the people you're talking to. You think they're idiots. And also, more importantly, you hate yourself. It's self-loathing, right? And so when people do this, it really is a sort of red flag, right? Those who've been watching probably have red flags about Joe Biden and have had red flags about Joe Biden for quite a while. Red flag Joe Biden from the 2012 election, going back into the annals of history. Put y'all back in chains.
Romney wants to he said in the first 100 days, he's going to let the big banks once again write their own rules. Unchain Wall Street. They're going to put you all back in chains.
They're going to put y'all back in chains. You see how long this has been going on? See how excruciating this all is? Like, do people keep falling for this? I don't think they will. I don't believe they will. Joe Biden continued that through into the residency at the White House when he got an opportunity to talk with a rapper. This is how Joe Biden sounded.
And two of the great artists of our time representing the groundbreaking legacy of hip-hop in America, LL Cool J. By the way, that man's got biceps bigger than my thighs. I think he's been. And MC Light, both of you, thank you. Because they both have the light off on the mic, you know you're all here to listen to the new edition. Mike Bivens, 40 years.
Sometimes it's fun when they can't even hide it. Hey, boy, you got big thighs. You know what that means? I'm going to call you a name I just made up. LLJ Cool JJ. That's your name now. Like, what does it say about you, right? How do they get away? You know how they get away with it. But why do they do it in the first place? One producer Ashley saying that Joe knows corn pop, so it's good. He's got the card. Okay, he knew corn pop. All right, he could do this because one time, and I'm going to retell it, and this is 100% historically accurate. Okay, I know all the fact checkers watch the show. I know the Kamala HQ account watches this show. Okay, so here we go. Get ready to clip this. Okay, get ready to send this to all your fact checker friends. Tell me if I'm wrong. Okay, Joe Biden lifeguarding at a swimming pool in a black neighborhood. Presumably, the vast majority of the people swimming there are black. Joe Biden sees a young black man with too much pomade in his hair. And Joe Biden then tries to fight that man, calls him a racial slur and an ethnic slur because he has too much pomade in his hair. Joe Biden then goes and gets a rusty chain and a razor blade to try and kill that young man. That young man's name is Corn Pop, and that's the Corn Pop story. There's your civil rights hero. This is the guy that gets 90% of the black vote. There you go. That's how broken America is. Fact check me. I dare you. That's the story of Corn Pop. It's actually quite dark. They should maybe it's like Sci-Fi Channel should make the History Channel should do like a dramatic retelling of it. Maybe we'll cast a movie. Let's call it the Corn Pop movie. We'll do like a full 90-minute, like good casting, young Joe Biden, young Corn Pop. Tell the backstory of Corn Pop. Where's Corn Pop come from? Who's his father? Who's his mother? Where, how was he raised? What's the story of Corn Pop? Let's explore that character, And then the meeting in the parking lot where young Joe Biden threatens to kill him and wrap a chain around his neck. That's what Joe Biden said. Wrap a chain around his neck to Corn Pop after he calls him a racial slur for wearing too much pomade in his hair. This young black man. Try to check me on this. We actually have, and producer Danny reminding me, that Joe Biden's friend named Mouse is on camera telling the same story, saying it's all true. This is what Joe Biden did. So there you go. These are the people that Democrats vote for. This is what gets you 90% of the black vote. Jeez. Oh, man. I look forward to it. Please, I dare you. I dare you. Y'all clip Tim Pool's show. You clip our show. We see it, I dare you. We know you're watching. Clip it. Put it up. Let's try this game. Prove to me that that's not what Joe Biden did. Because, the dude's on camera, like telling the story, and a bunch of his friends told the same story. So there you go. There's your civil rights hero. Okay. Here's your civil rights hero doing the same thing. The fake accent. We've all heard hundreds of thousands of hours of Obama speeches. But when Obama gets in front of a specific audience in a specific room with a specific vibe, again, suddenly you sound like Foghorn Leghorn. Here you go.
And John Lewis, even in his 70s, wasn't tired. I got no excuses. I can't be tired. If the men and women who had to endure the sting of discrimination, the smack of belly clubs, weren't tired. If the folks who had to fight those early fights, those were the tough fights for union rights and voting rights and gay rights and women's rights. If they didn't get tired, you can't be tired.
Dude, how many Obama speeches have you heard? Is that the way he talks with Vladimir Putin at like the NATO joint summit? They're liars. That's what it says. Okay? What it says about these people is, one, they disrespect you and they hate you. They think you're dumb. They think you're low information, low IQ. And by you, I mean Democrat voter bases who show up for these rallies. And then two, it says so much about them, right? Where they have such lack of security in themselves, lack of purpose in their lives, that they themselves don't feel adequate. And they have to put on a show. But they need the applause and the approval of strangers, which is the mark of a sociopath. So that's what it says. And you'll never catch me doing fake accents on this program. We like doing impressions. I'm no good at them, but I have fun doing them. We like doing impressions. But that you won't find that, right? We'll never, ever do that. You won't find it with Trump either. Like you've heard Trump talk to black churches. You've heard Trump talk to whatever, the Platinum Plan. We had that at the White House. And Kanye West, right? When Kanye West jumped on the Oval Office desk, the Resolute desk, and smacked, Trump with a MAGA hat and hugged him. I love this guy, right? Did Trump talk any different? No. Trump flies to the NATO summit and speaks with European leaders and is the same person. And then he goes to Pyongyang and speaks with Kim Jong-un. It's the same person. And that is quite frankly profound. You do not want a liar or fraud in charge of this country. You need people who have stability to take the toughest job on earth. So this is what we saw yesterday with communist Kamala. So Kamala was in Detroit, and she was speaking to what we've seen photos of the audience, what we can assume is a minority audience. Okay, the whole that entire saying is actually paradoxical, but anyway, there was a very urban. She was in an urban center of Detroit, speaking to an urban audience, and Kamala Harris, who grew up in the leafy French suburbs of Montreal, Quebec, somebody who's far more likely to parlez-vous français than Ebonics, Kamala Harris had this to say yesterday in Detroit.
Let's just get through the next 64 days. How about that?
Oh, okay. Well, hold on. Maybe I was born yesterday, and this is my first time hearing Kamala Harris. So maybe that's how I think she talks, right? Okay, so she, she is intersectionally diverse. Maybe that's the way that she just speaks all the time. All right, but what's fascinating is that just an hour earlier, outside of Pittsburgh, in a suburb and in a wealthy neighborhood, Kamala Harris spoke like this.
Thank unions for sick leave. Thank unions for paid family leave.
Weird. I don't see the same inflection. But she wasn't saying the same thing. So clearly she, maybe there was something wrong there. Oh, wait, she did. Oh, my producers are telling me she did say the exact same line, except for she sounded like an extra in Gone with the Wind in Detroit. Here we go.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time. Because what we know.
Thank you, member. Member. 64. 64 days. A union member. Who is this person? What does it say about them? What kind of a person does these kind of debasing things for the adulation of strangers? And would you allow that person to even babysit your kids? Much less steer a nation that your children will have to live in long after you're gone. What kind of a person are you? Are you a moral person? Why would you ever allow that person in charge? It says such bad things about them. It's a lie. Call it what it is. It's immoral. It's a lie. But it's one of the most pernicious and insulting styles of lies, because it's a lie that assumes that you're stupid, that assumes that you can't just look up where Kamala Harris was raised. So for Kamala Harris, for the first 20 years of her life, producers, please check me on that. 20 years for Kamala Harris for the first 20 years of her life. That's pretty good, Danny. Lived here. Here we go. This is Kamala's neighborhood. Kamala's neighborhood is in Montreal. Is a specific neighborhood in Montreal. The name escapes me. I'm not Canadian, and I've never been to Montreal. It's a specific neighborhood. Find me Alex, what's the actual neighborhood? There is a Westmount, Montreal. There we go. Westmount, Montreal is a nice place, affluent, beautiful, rich. Look at this. Boy, Westmount, Montreal is not where you get that accent. Danny saying this is what Kamala Harris looks like in Detroit. Why would you lie to people like this? There we go. Here's Kamala in Detroit. There you go. Yeah. So where's it come from? This was a joke a couple of years ago. Tropic Thunder was made in 2003. It's a 20-year-old movie. It's crazy to think that. It was a 20-year-old movie. And you were able to make jokes like this as Robert Downey Jr., right? The joke here is that Robert Downey Jr. went through this massive transformation to become a black person. It's like a reverse Michael Jackson. And then he changed his vernacular. He sounded very urban. He sounded very Southern. Everything, and that was the joke. The joke was that he did that. We all laughed. And now that joke is, in fact, running for president. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have more examples of this. And it is an important reminder that this person is fake. Here we go. November accent, Kamala Harris.
Hold on. You know what? Here, hold on. Here's the thing. The courts are going to handle that. We're going to beat them in November. We're going to beat them in November. Okay? We'll beat them in November. We'll handle that. And you all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024. Yes, we will. I said to the congressman, I didn't know he could preach like that. Do I see people testifying? Can I get a witness?
Someone's going to have to check with McDonald's corporate and Kamala's non-existent McDonald's job that she regularly talks about to see if that was the accent she used when she was doing fries. Another lie, just like one of many. Kamala Harris was doing fries at McDonald's. There's no record of Kamala Harris doing any fries. There's no photo. There's no video. There's no employment record. She has never listed it. But Kamala Harris has gone on the trail when she started running for president and said, as soon as she started running for president, she hits the trail. And when she's speaking to poor audiences, Kamala has suddenly manufactured this idea that she worked at McDonald's. Well, here's what we have to say. We're skeptics. Prove it. Prove it. President Trump posted this weekend about a funny meme of Kamala Harris working at McDonald's. Prove you worked at McDonald's. President Trump is familiar with McDonald's. We've eaten McDonald's with President Trump. He loves McDonald's. So prove you worked at McDonald's. Prove that's your real accent. You can't. And you don't want somebody like that. Kamala Harris, with every passing day, shows us how she's unqualified to babysit your children, much less run your nation. And the most complicated, most important, most powerful nation on earth. It's not a good plan. There's the meme. Okay. This is the McDonald's thing. It's the same at its core. At core level, it's the same thing. At core level, the problems are the same with Kamala Harris. It's a lie. Prove you worked at McDonald's. Go for it. Clearly, you have a pay stub, a bank account. You have some type of proof, right? Kamala Harris, again and again and again, tells people, as soon as she started running for president, she made up a story that she worked at McDonald's. We're going to say that because it's unproven currently. So prove to us that you did. The burden of proof is on you. Kamala Harris says she's unburdened, though.
We have dreams. We can see what is possible, unburdened by what has been.
Unburdened. Back again. Okay, so here we go. I did ask my producers, what is the timeline for Kamala Harris in Montreal? She was born in Berkeley, not a particularly rough neighborhood. She moved away at 2. She moved to Illinois and then to Madison, Wisconsin. So she moved to Evanston, Illinois, which is a beautiful area. Then Madison, Wisconsin, university towns. Then to Quebec. She did high school in Quebec. She did all of her schooling in Quebec. She attended Vanier College in Montreal. And then she transferred to Howard. So there you go. There's your little Kamala Harris timeline. Very interesting. Maybe we should go. Maybe we should go to Quebec. Maybe we should go. We should go to Quebec and we should spend a day there in her little West Mountain neighborhood. We should start asking people. We should go to this neighborhood and we should start asking people. Just get our mic and start asking people just basic questions. See if they talk like this. Do they talk like Kamala does? In these, this would be very important, I think, research for this team to engage in. We'll see if we can't make it happen. If we did that video, hopefully Kamala Harris would be able to watch it on her phone and be able and use it as an opportunity to avoid the press. Here's Kamala Harris on her phone yesterday, not taking questions from the press because she has her wired earbuds in. What year is it? Kamala Harris with her wired earbuds in and then watch here. This is great. Then she's on the phone. She's on the phone. She's on the phone with her wired earbud. I don't even have them because they're so outdated. Nobody has wired headsets in anymore. What she's trying to do is make the wire is there to prove to people that she's currently not engaging. That's what the wire is there for. Nobody has these wired earbuds anymore. And now she's talking on the phone with her wired. You don't need to hold. If you already have here, I got an earpiece in. I already got an earpiece in for the show. So it's hard to see, but there's an earpiece right there. It's as hard to see as the earpiece that Joe Biden wears whenever he does an interview. I got an earpiece in, okay, for the show, when I'm doing the show. If I was holding up my phone, there we go. If I was holding up my phone, it doesn't work like that. The phone, here, Klein has these. Klein has these, okay? Because Klein's an older millennial, and that's fine. This is how it works. They're backups. Yeah, that's right. So these work even if the battery dies on your AirPods. You plug this into your phone. My phone doesn't even have a jack like this. Okay, yeah. You plug this into your phone, then all the audio from your phone comes through the headphones. So I'm only going into this for a reason because it blends into the whole point of the show here. What year? Put that up. What year is it? You plug this in here. You plug this in your phone, and the audio from your phone goes through the earbuds and into your ears. And that's how you hear what's going on in your phone. Your phone can remain in your pocket or down here. That's why the earbuds are dangling. If you put your phone to your ear while your earbuds are in, I think you have you're mentally handicapped. You're dumb. You're Joe Biden IQ. So this is what we're swapping out here. What's the point? The point is that she lies. The point is that she's lying. She's lying once again to the American people. That's the point. The point is that the whole thing was a lie. She was doing that. She's fake. It's faker. This is fake. This is great. This is Who does this? Who does it? Anybody got a nana or mima or a mum or like a grandparent? Sometimes grandparents do this. Okay. Sometimes grandparents do this. Kamala Harris fancies herself as like very, very young, and she's not. She's actually she's like the youngest generation to still be considered part of the boomer generation, is actually Kamala Harris. And so I don't know. Any boomers in the audience? Let me know. You talk on the phone like this? Is this us? Is it? Are we being insensitive about this? Is this culture? Is this culture? We've been insensitive to, I guess, Kamala's culture the entire program. So is this culture that we're insulting here? So remarkable. Where is she headed? So she's headed out to a event with Joe Biden. So they pull Joe Biden. They pull Joe Biden out, and that's maybe who she was calling there. maybe that's who she's on the phone. We know she's done fake phone conversations with Joe Biden before. Maybe that's what they're setting up here, ladies and gentlemen. We're not exactly certain, but maybe that's what's happening. Ladies and gentlemen, we do know this, that Joe Biden did appear on stage with Kamala Harris yesterday, and that Joe Biden, I'm very pleased to report to you, is back, baby. Here we go.
You can no longer be the manufacturing capital of the world. Where the hell is that written? We are the greatest manufacturing city, county in the world, state in the world, city in the world. We're going to remain that way.
So we're the manufacturing city we're the greatest manufacturing city. It's good to see. It's good to see, in fact. What a demonic party to put this guy out back on stage. Here we go. Joe Biden just spinning the oldies. Let's go.
I remember when my great-grandfather was only the second Catholic elected statewide to the state Senate here in Pennsylvania. And I remember they talked about when they're running against him in 1906, they said, guess what? They said, he's a Molly Maguire. You know what a Molly Maguire was? Well, those of you who don't, a Molly Maguire, back in the old days, when we Irish and the Catholics came, and then the Poles and others that were Catholic, when they came to the United States of America in the beginning of the 1840s, and late 1840s, they made their way down into Pennsylvania. A lot of them, and there's a tier in the coal mines. Those guys who got there last ended up being the last people in the coal mines. But a lot of the English owned the coal mines, and what they did was they'd really beat the hell out of the mostly Catholic population that was in the mines. Not a joke, not a joke. But there was a group that called the Molly Maguires. And the Molly Maguires, if they find out the foreman who was taking advantage of an individual, and they literally kill him. Not a joke. And they bring his body up and put him on the doorstep of his family. Kind of crude. But I got to admit, they accused my great-grandfather of being a Molly. He wasn't. But we were so damn disappointed. That's a joke. That's a joke. Look.
What's wrong with this guy? I'm excited. I'm excited. Okay, to see how this all plays out. We do only have 63 days before the election, but I will tell you this: that doing this to Joe Biden, like this, these were the faces of Joe Biden yesterday. This is like, this really is criminal elder abuse. Then look at that. Dude doesn't know where he is. Dude is so cooked. He doesn't have any clue. He just doesn't know. I make a lot of expressions. Let me see if I can. I make a lot of expressions. Let's try the other one. You'd say like, geez, like somebody help Benny. He's having a stroke. If I was doing those expressions, maybe I'd do them during my fake Southern accent. Interesting. What do we do, baby? All right. So our guest today is Nancy Mace from South Carolina, and she's great. She's been somebody who's been in full force against Kamala Harris and calling this out for a very long time. Just a little bit of a reminder that Nancy Mace is somebody who has fought the establishment, has been fought back against the establishment, and has won. And that's a huge bit of credit to her, quite frankly. Joe Biden tried to fight against the establishment and lost, and it's humiliating. Joe Biden said on his trip back into the White House that he's not allowed to go out anymore by the Secret Service. Check this out.
President, how was it to be back on the campaign trail today?
It was good.
Good. How do you feel about Pennsylvania?
Except I'm not able to go out in the crowds anymore. The Secret Service doesn't let me.
No, why not?
Well, because they say it's too dangerous. No one gets to go out. Anybody not? You know,
How do you feel about Pennsylvania right now?
I feel real good about Pennsylvania. I think we're going to win Pennsylvania.
So it's I'm not allowed to go out anymore. Joe Biden from the retirement home. Yeah. CNN was put into a retirement home by Nancy Mace when speaking about Kamala Harris. It's a very, very special moment here in American history, and something that we're reminded of how desperate they are, because you only do these kind of things. You only play these kind of games when you're losing. This is what happened last time Nancy Mace went on CNN.
That sounds like self-hatred and justification of white supremacy. And let me just say this, because this Congresswoman is a wonderful human being, but when you disrespect Kamala Harris by saying you will call her whatever you want, I know you don't intend it to be that way. That's the history and legacy of white disregard for the humanity of black people.
Oh, so now you're calling me racist.
I didn't say. I just said you weren't a
BS.
racist.
That is complete
No, you don't have to intend racism to accomplish
you are
it.
intending that I am
Your disrespect
racist,
of Kamala
and
Harris
that
is part and parcel of a
why
tradition of disrespect.
It's offensive,
Congresswoman,
and it's
why can't you
it's
just?
offensive.
I'm not calling you a racist.
No,
I'm telling you what the practice is
You
racist.
are. You absolutely are.
The practice is
Let me get
disrespecting. No, what's disgusting is your disrespect of her.
Professor.
This gentleman said, I didn't know her name. He's trying to do
is
it.
her disrespect of women. She doesn't know what a woman is. And if 25 years ago,
white women don't have the ability to tell black women who paid the price of blood to make this country what it is, to tell them they're not real women.
25 years
They care
ago,
for your babies
25 years ago, I became the first woman to graduate from the Citadel, the Military College of South Carolina. I fought my way through it.
So pronounce her name right.
Sweat, and tears.
So pronounce her name right.
Kamala Harris. If
Kamala.
I were
Kamala.
You said
I
this
will
before.
say
Nancy
anything that
Mace.
I want.
It's
Come on,
Kamala.
it's
You're
Kamala.
doing this on purpose,
I am
Congresswoman.
not.
That's disrespectful.
You can't expect people to
If a
respect your
man
service
put
if
on
you
a
don't
skirt
respect
and walked
hers.
that stage 25 years ago, she
You're a
would have
white
said
woman
it. She would have
disrespecting a
taken
black
that
woman. That is
achievement away from
problematic.
women.
How could you ever expect these people to run a country? Truly. So grotesque, so thin-skinned, so unwilling to argue real issues that happen in this great nation and the real problems that we have. So semantic, right? So feline in their energy. And it's truly something that is a threat, quite frankly, like the inability to have a real conversation. Luckily for us, we have members of Congress that are willing to go into the lion's den and stand up. It's certainly not the first time that she's done it, and won't be the last. The great Congresswoman Nancy Mace joins the program now. Congresswoman, I have a feeling you're going to get quite a few clips out of this show, because I refuse. I call her Commie Camilla on the program, and that may get us in trouble, actually, during this interview.
Well, if her policies weren't so commie-like, it's real though. And the fact is, I like you said, feline energy. I'm going to have to steal that from you. That's a great name for it. But you're right.
Meow.
Yeah.
Meow. They were like,
kitty.
This grown man coming for you, like crying tears. Meow.
And the other thing is too, like if you turn down the volume, you can actually see them physically almost like trying to lunge for my body. And I'm like, it's so insane. And by the way, right after the show, here it is. Here's that professor hitting on me, begging for photos, telling me how gorgeous I am, and saying that we look good together, sending me a kissy emoji, that guy doing that. But he's all bent out of shape because of the way I said Kamala. He wasn't bent out of shape. It was all like everything on the radical left. It's just an act. It's just a complete act.
Wait a second. So he does this whole game, this whole like cat and mouse game where he's like, how dare you? We're so upset.
I have blood on my hands.
Legacy, this legacy. You're personally responsible for every bad thing that ever happened in America. Also, I'm going to hit on you. And send you kissy face
literally, we have video of it. Him begging for the selfie photos. He hits on me afterwards on text, and I'm just like, number one, gross. I don't want your kissy emojis. I don't want you telling me how gorgeous I am or we look good together. Totally. I mean, and it was all just a complete act. They didn't mean anything of it. They just wanted to get likes and get attention. They didn't want to debate the real issues like inflation, like spending, like illegal immigration, or women's issues, by the way, because they won't define what a woman is. But and then to go hit on me afterwards, like, oh, it's all okay. No, it's not okay, because you basically slandered me in live, television like that, saying I had the blood of Black people on my hands. When the fact is Joe Biden, Bill Clinton, rapper Lil Jon, Al Sharpton, Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor can't say her name for what. Like, give me an effing break.
Congresswoman, she can't say her name. We have miles of tape. Feel free to grab it. Let's grab it, boys. Like we have miles of to prove your point. We have miles of tape of her saying her name the way that you said her name on CNN. So, I mean, I guess go to the source, right?
Yeah.
I think the same day Joe Biden introduced her the way that you said her name on CNN. And so it's like, just call it.
They say it worse. They say Kamala. And I'm like, Kamala sounds like a flower. It sounds beautiful. Kamala is the way Indians say it in Indian culture. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't say it wrong. I now know it's Kamala. Some people want to say Kamila, whatever you want to say it. It's just like, it's so, let's talk about what you're going to do to women and underage girls if these people are in charge. Let's talk about the spending and inflation that Kamala is personally responsible for being the deciding vote on inflationary spending. Let's talk about how she wants illegals to vote in our elections and wants them to come across the border. I mean, they don't want to talk about real policies because their policies are wrong for America. They don't put our citizens first.
Just really quickly covering here. The guy's pickup line didn't work then afterwards.
No, oh, hell no. God, no. I mean, absolutely not. I'm not dating at all right now. I'm like 100% married to the job, focused on the work and working for the American people right now. But it's just disgusting. And it's like, anybody wants to come after me and make claims that I'm racist, I just show them the text. I'm like, here's the video of him begging me for photos and selfies after the show and then hitting on me afterwards. It was all just a complete act. It was all a lie. That's what the radical left does. It is a complete and utter lie. They are lying to the American people. They are gaslighting to the American people. And all I want to share with the American people is the truth. That is what everybody deserves, regardless of your political party or affiliation or who you're voting for. You deserve the truth. And the most truthful man running for president is Donald J. Trump. And that's who we've all got to support.
So left-wing feline men with feminine energy, they get the hard swipe left. Learn that, boys. Okay, learn that.
Feline energy. I love this.
Yep, left-wing men get the swipe left. Okay, that's how it works. That's how it works out here in the jungle. All right. So Mike Johnson may attach the proof of citizenship voting law to stopgap spending bill. I'm sure you're the SAVE Act. I'm sure you're very excited about this. I believe the SAVE Act's already passed the House, correct, on party lines. Can you talk us through the strategy as you said, Mary?
Well, I hope that we finally have to attach something related to the border to a spending measure. We should have done it earlier this year. It did not happen. It was a separate measure and didn't have the intended effect, as we knew what would happen. We must tie it to spending because that's the only way things are going to change. And I tell you, I represent a very purple, independent leaning district. People are sick of what's going on at the border. Even in South Carolina, people are dying of fentanyl. Illegals are killing children. There's sex trafficking, human trafficking, all these things. People are tired of it. And I'm tired of writing strongly worded letters. And so if we can attach a really monumental illegal immigration measure to a spending bill, I'm going to 100% be for it. I hope that our leadership has the guts and the glory and the courage to follow it through to the end, because that's what's got to happen here.
So this would presumably pass the House, and then it would go over to the Senate. And what would Mitch McConnell do?
I don't know that it actually will pass the House. I think there are
Really?
Republicans who will vote against it and vote it down. I think that that might be part of the plan, to have a certain number of Republicans vote with Democrats and vote it down. And then they go back to their usual omnibus, minibus, continuing resolution, doing what they've always done, would be my guess is what happens.
Oh, it's an absolute shame. It really is such an easy question, which is, do you support democracy? If you support democracy, you should be in support of Americans and only Americans voting. And it's like
Right. Well, and it was just in Alabama, right? How many illegal voters did they find in Alabama voter rolls? One of the most conservative states in the union, in the country, over 3,000 illegals on their voter rolls. What do you think that number is in New York or California or Georgia or North Carolina? How many illegals are on those states' voter rolls and how many are voting?
So it's a bit of a perilous time, right? There are the hundreds of thousands of voters being found on voting rolls in red states. And of course, Democrats would never dare purge their voter rolls. Although it does seem like it does seem like the desperation is beginning to set in, that they may not, even with the change of batter and the hot swap, they may not be able to defeat Trump again. It does also seem very strange that we've got no information on the shooter for President Trump. You were posting about this yesterday. We obviously are very we obviously love the fact that you were one of the people who single-handedly destroyed Kim Cheadle. Probably got her to resign.
100%.
Yeah, and so we thank you for that. But now that that's done and they've sort of hung this around her neck, now what? Now we've learned virtually nothing about the most, an on live TV presidential assassination. Like they wanted to execute the guy live on TV. But you're saying here 46 days and this is all they've got? No motive?
100%. And even though we don't have motive, we still have a lot of information. We know this guy climbed a roof with a long barrel gun and people witnessed it and nobody did anything. We know that he got a shot off 100 yards away, came within a millimeter of shooting a former and future president of the United States. We have a lot of information so far, but no one in either the Homeland Security, FBI, or Secret Service is willing to follow up on any of it and are leaving us with no answers. Like, this cannot continue. Like, when we get back in session, I expect this task force to go right at it. It shouldn't be happening no matter who's president. We know that even the vice president has had issues on our Secret Service detail as well. That should be investigated. But here's a guy who's a former and future president. There was just another assassination attempt that we heard about a couple weeks ago. We know that there are foreign adversaries like Iran that are trying to do things and harm Donald Trump as well. And we are owed answers. And I'm going to take a victory lap on Kim Cheadle. It wasn't the cursing that did it. She earned every bit of that. But it was, I believe, the privileged motion that I filed on her impeachment. Had I not forced a vote on her impeachment, she would have stayed in office because every other impeachment filing was not privileged. It wasn't going to force a vote again. I am sick and tired of talking about things. What are we going to actually do? I mean, what are we physically going to do to change the direction of this country? And it had to be done. And I'm going to take full credit for it. She had to go. Now we need to, I think, disassemble, reassemble, and rebuild the Secret Service to do what they are supposed to do, what they have been tasked with doing, their mission.
I think like the basic measure of reinstituting some faith in an organization is just telling the truth. And so let's hear the truth about how this 20-year-old with no military training created a very, very sophisticated bomb. We just found out that it's not just a pipe bomb. Like, he created a very sophisticated bomb that could have really hurt people and was designed to go off in concert with an assassination and to draw security away from President Trump. And this was a plan. How did this guy get this training? We all are well aware of what happens if you Google search these things. Don't do it. All right. Don't do it unless you want to knock at the door. How it is becoming really hard. The conspiracy theorists are the people who are saying that this guy acted alone, I think.
Yeah, and it's not, you don't have to believe in conspiracy to know that there's a conspiracy in this thing. There's a conspiracy to cover it up. If you believe in no other conspiracy, there is absolutely reason to believe that the agencies, the FBI, Homeland Security, and Secret Service are covering up. They sent Kim Cheadle to testify before Congress without providing her any. I think they refused to provide her information, so she couldn't answer a single question. That in and of itself is a conspiracy to hide the crime. And so you don't have to have a tinfoil hat to know that the government is covering it up. This is just straight up cover up. I mean, it's all right there. You've seen it in the hearings, and you'll probably see more of it. There's no reason for them to be silent and not provide any information. We literally saw Secret Service be asked for information. They didn't provide a single document, not one piece of information that we asked for. That in and of itself is a cover up, and that's a conspiracy.
You know, you're in charge, right? Your branch is in charge, and then they incinerated the evidence. Like, you're in charge of a criminal investigation. I know you're not specifically on. I know that you're not on the task force. However, I know that you have.
Can you imagine if I was? Can you imagine? Nobody wants me on their task force. I can promise you that.
We're banging the gong and saying put Nancy Mace on there because maybe you'd find out why they incinerated his body. Why was the FBI scrubbing all the biological evidence off the roof? Like, why would you do that? It actually screams cover up.
Most famous assassination attempt in modern times, and you burn the body.
I don't. Yeah, something's wrong. Like, like by definition, something's terribly wrong. So, do you believe he acted alone?
It's hard to say because we don't have the information. I find it hard to believe that a 20-year-old was this successful with that many law enforcement individuals on the ground and that many people telling the police that somebody was up there. I don't know if there was a second person, but it's worth investigating all of the potential scenarios. There's not one scenario that should be off the table because we haven't gotten a single piece of information. So yes, people are going to immediately assume there's some kind of a conspiracy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know, like the way to actually eliminate conspiracies is just tell the truth, right? You just begin to tell the truth. So this seems to be a problem, and it's something we had to get to in this interview because you are from the South. You're proudly from the South. You proudly represent a very, very famous Southern city, a Southern city just rich in culture and beauty, and like the old Southern ways and incredible food. And I love your district, and I love where you're from. And so you know the South. I mean, there's just no way about no other two ways about it. You know the South. Right. And so when you hear Kamala Harris using these during only very specific scenarios, using these Southern accents, these very very foghorn leghorn accents, right? Like put upon accents that are totally unnatural. And is not the way that she speaks at like a NATO summit, right? With Jan Stoltenberg. What does this say to you?
Well, it's actually kind of racist if you think about it. I mean, like, that's the thing. I think the biggest racism, the biggest sexism is actually with the radical left. And it's dangerous because it's so subcutaneous. It's so under the surface, right? And it's an act. She's from California. She grew up in Canada. She's from California. They don't talk like that. You know, in my district, there are people that have lots of different accents, Southern included, depending on what town you're from. That's all perfectly normal, but not in her line of work, not in her job, not where she grew up. I mean, I say y'all, that's about as Southern as I get. I've lived all over the country. And it's just bizarre. And I think it's racist. Honestly, it's just the strangest thing.
So, I mean, I guess it does beg the question, like, what does it say about a person who will change the way she talks, like to match, to get the applause of strangers, the adulation of strangers in specific audiences. And she does, again, she doesn't do this when she's talking in the leafy suburbs.
And she does it with such ease and such comfort. And it's like not even, she doesn't even know. I mean, it's AOC's done it. We've seen these people on the left adopt a certain dialect or a certain accent to talk to certain audiences. And they just think the American people are stupid, you know, and for me, I don't think independents are going to buy it. I think it'll actually backfire because people see that it's all an act. Whether or not you like Donald Trump, what he does is speak the truth, and he speaks from the heart. He wears his heart on his sleeve. What you get from Kamala Harris is lies and gaslighting, and she's being disingenuous. She's being sexist. She's being racist. It's all an act. What the left has done, the radical left, they're not even left anymore. They're absolutely capital R radical left. Is showing you their true colors, and we ought to believe them.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of gas lanterns in your district to tie into this.
Mhm.
She's against fracking. She said it many times. She says she wants to ban fracking. And then the first question out of the gate on that CNN interview, which I'm sure you watched, was a total and complete flip on that issue. And it's like it never happened. And it's like, how do you trust those people, right? You say gaslighting. Well, she's definitely against you having gas too light. But here we are.
And whatever policies she's had over the last 4 years, she's now flip-flopped on them. And what policies she has, she's stolen from Donald Trump's website. So if you want to know what her next big policy is, we should all just visit donaldtrump.com, donaldjtrump.com, and look up what his policies are, because now she wants a wall. 4 years ago, she was mocking the wall and mocking Donald Trump for wanting to build a wall, and yet now she wants a wall. That's BS. I mean, it's all a lie. It's all gaslighting. It's all an act. She doesn't mean any of it.
Final closing message here, 63 days away. Obviously, you're a strong Trump ally, Donald Trump endorsed candidate. You're running in your own race, but yeah, I've seen you hitting the trail and out and about. I actually saw you at a Trump rally in South Carolina, right there outside of Raleigh. And so it's like, this seems very, very winnable for President Trump. I'm not sure he's the underdog, actually, but preview of the debates and preview of the election to come.
Well, number one, I hope that we all will focus on women's issues. Inflation and spending is a big one. Illegal immigration is a big one. But as Republicans, I don't want us to forget about women's issues and how far back Kamala Harris will set women. She'll set them back 100 years if she's ever president of the United States. And that is an issue that independent women, suburban women, women in purple districts are really contemplating. Do I vote for her because she's a woman? Or do I vote for the man who's going to protect women? And I'm voting for Donald Trump because I am a woman. I am voting for Donald Trump because I am a rape survivor. I am voting for Donald Trump because I want women to be protected. I want them to be safe. I want their kids to be safe and prosperous. That's why. And we need to go back and remember that and not be afraid of it, that we're on the right side of history here. This is a woman who would allow a biological adult male to shower next to an underage girl in a locker room. I don't think so. Not over my dead body. These are people that want parents' rights taken away if their kid identifies with a different pronoun or wants to cut a body part off while they're underage, and they don't want the parents to know about it. It's sick. It's disgusting. It's perverted. And what they will do to women and girls, there is nothing that will stop them. They can't define what a woman is. They want to take women's and girls' scholarships away in academia. They want men to take away their trophies in Olympic sports. I mean, all these things, this is what they're doing, and there's nothing in the way to stop them except for this election. And I just don't want us to forget about how important women are. They're half the country. They will be voting. They will be turning out to vote. And we need to convert as many of them as possible and share with them and show them why Donald Trump protects women, not Kamala Harris.
I think they are. I mean, I saw it in my own household, that RFK endorsement, man, talking about the health of children, the health of our food, the quality of the food that we feed our children. Man, those are resonant issues. And there's only one candidate and campaign talking about it.
And he's got Tulsi Gabbard. He's got Tulsi Gabbard on board now. Yeah. I think she's terrific, and she's going to be helpful with women. These independent issues, whether it's vaccinations, food, our healthcare system, the women's issues, that's where we get that middle, center-right, center-left voter. They may not like either candidate, and we want them to pull the lever for Trump no matter what.
Yeah, well, there we go. If you want to support this happening and materializing in November, please go and follow Congresswoman Nancy Mace here on 300,000 Americans can't be wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Congresswoman from South Carolina.
Thank you, sir. Good to see you as always.
Rock and roll, baby. We out here. What are we doing? What are we doing? What's going on? It's crazy little bits of news, little bits and pieces of news. Hillary Clinton suddenly cancels appearance at Kamala fundraiser in the Hamptons. What is this? Hillary Clinton has canceled her appearance at the fundraiser, reportedly because she came down with COVID. Okay. According to page 6, New York Post, Clinton bowed out night in the Hamptons fundraiser. Harris Walt's campaign. Post reported sources say that she came down with COVID-19 ahead. Maybe she's doing it because she knows that the Kamala campaign is due for an actual car crash. Is itself a train wreck, tire fire, car crash, as we've regularly described it. But now we're going to have to hold off on describing it like that because Kamala Harris did actually crash her car. Tim Walz, Kamala's campaign. Tim Walz and Kamala Harris don't drive, but they do have motorcades, and those motorcades crashed yesterday. Tim Walz ride up on a motorcade, crash, and pile up, leaving staffers injured. Apparently, there were broken bones, blood, a bunch of members of the press smashed into, the vans smashed into each other. And these motorcades have lots of cars in them, and these two press vans slammed into each other. We have a lot of photos of this. I'm not sure if it's in the article. Let's scroll through. There you go. Let's scroll through the article. It's just some photos. There they are. Look at that. Boom. What a metaphor. It's really exciting. A really wonderful metaphor for the Kamala campaign. Also, Kamala Harris using her headphones while talking on her phone, a metaphor for somebody who's, inauthentic and a liar, and somebody who's willing to lie to you on camera about using her phone. We would never lie to you on camera about our phones. Ladies and gentlemen, our phones are bricked out and brought to you live. Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is our partner in making sure that we are locked in live, ready to go when we're on the road, when we're letting her rip. Patriot Mobile is an awesome company, and they're a company that supports our values and can keep you connected when you're on the road. And you definitely want to be connected for the coming days. It's going to get wild. Go to patriotmobile.com/Benny, 972-PATRIOT. Right now, get a free month when you use the offer code Benny. patriotmobile.com/Benny or call 972-PATRIOT. They are the only Christian conservative wireless provider in America, and they are our friends, and we love them. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be heading to I've got to head out to a ultrasound for our new baby. Actually, a little bit of personal news. Kate and I have an ultrasound within the hour here. So that is it for me today. We will be live multiple times later this week. President Trump's going to be doing a sit down with Sean Hannity tomorrow night. We're going to be live for that. We're going to have Debate Mageddon round 2 with Kamala and Donald Trump next week on next Thursday. And we're going to have some special things sprinkled in between. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay locked in. Become a member of our channel. This is a way that you can support us. Become a member of the Benny Brigade at bennyjohnson.com. If you wish to allow for us to continue our work here, if you like the product that we create, please consider becoming a member and supporting our team. We support you with the verse of the day, Colossians 3:1. Since then, you've been raised with Christ. Set your hearts on things above, where Christ is, seated at the right hand of God. Set your hearts on things above. Just a reminder that salvation is not going to come through a man or a political party. It's certainly not going to come through our federal government. Salvation comes through Christ alone, and that is our rock, and that is our century. Walk forward with us onto the victory that is assured to us. It's your boy Benny. This is Benny Show. See ya.
I'd like a large coffee.
Okay, so hot coffee?
Totally leave room for Craig.
Why are you talking like that?
This is my voice.
No, it's not. I heard you talking a minute ago. I know you don't talk like that.
Neither do you, because nobody actually talks like this. Just stop doing that.
I can't help it. This is my voice.
Excuse me. Some of us would like to order.
You're total man.
There you go. Good. You're talking.
Where the truth gon' be, faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to life. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade. Cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to life. liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade, cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny shows the storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light.